All right, let's talk about the Inner Circle Domaine Rouge.
Yeah, I
That,
think so, right?
My
that box
favorite
there,
right there.
beautiful packaging. I love this box,
Thank you.
So
significant box.
Jacksonville is the
Tell me a little bit
first.
about this. This is made in homage to your father. Is that
I'm not a very
Yes,
long-winded
correct.
person.
who passed not long ago?
Actually, just quickly before I jump in there, I also want to say something that really matters to me is that all the designs, everything is always made in-house, right? My wife does all visuals, etc. She studied art, and so there is no outsourcing, there is no nothing. Everything, every single different concept you'll see, whether simple or complex, is always in-house product of what we do. We
Okay,
don't just, go out
um,
to a company and say, hey, we need something a bit with that idea. Please make something for us, right? I
Yep.
think it's important because it speaks to who we are and how we do things. And it also speaks to the importance for us to do things the right way for the consumer,
okay.
right? Because we're consumers before all, right? We all started as consumers, and the last thing you want is to create a product that is not true to a philosophy or to yourself or to what you want to propose. And it's something that you have to be proud enough of or that you would gravitate towards. And I think the only way to achieve this is by doing it truthfully yourself without compromising on where the concept and the work comes from.
Mhm.
So the
You
Domaine
does all
Rouge,
that. You do a beautiful. She does a beautiful job. I mean, let me show you guys because, of course, we're all smoking without the bands and the boxes, but you can see. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's simple but really elegant. You can see the beautiful gold there. Really, really nice. I love this
I
design.
appreciate that. So yeah, it's an homage to my father, who passed away now a few years ago. Very early, unexpected. So it
Wow.
was a bit of a shock and a surprise. And it's things of life. I think it's hard to explain until you actually go through it, and I don't wish it to anybody, but I know that we all have to at some point, for most of us.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But it was important for me to not forget and commemorate it because we've had like any family ups and downs, and I've had a pretty weird life before the cigar industry. I did everything you shouldn't be doing, and
Okay.
it also meant that I had a long time, about 2 years, without any contacts with my family, including my father.
Wow.
I left home very early. I did exactly what you shouldn't be doing, right? What your parents tell you that's not what you do, that's what I did. So yeah, it is what it is. But the reality is the beauty of cigars. The two things that brought us back together was the cigar world, the business. When I decided to go towards that direction, because he was a lawyer, had understanding of things I didn't know. I was a kid. I was 23 or something like this when I started, 24. And so he helped a lot. So that really brought us back together. And then the other thing that brought us back together that usually always brought us together was wine. We have a winemaker in the family, and I grew up around wine. And there was always wine at home, right? And that's the that two things that I can think of that really were moments that we had together in the last few years of his life. And so I wanted when that happened, I didn't immediately do the cigar. It took about 2 years to actually me getting to it and deciding to do it. You need a bit of time to digest those kind of situations.
Absolutely.
And so I decided to kind of try to mash the two worlds together. Cigars, but the classic traditional way of cigars, not the gold diamond, that the one that people know us for, but something very different, much more traditional again. And then on the other hand, try to bring together or with it the wine side of things. I think they
Yeah.
do a lot of things right that we don't in this
Yeah.
industry. And one of them, I think, is where they usually are very good at is visuals. I mean, look at the chateau, the etiquettes and everything, the
Yeah.
designs. It's beautiful, right?
Yep.
Beautiful. So I wanted to bring those two things together. And that cigar is the thought behind that cigar is how or what would it be if Cavalier had been a traditional old cigar brand, cigar family in this industry? What would we have been doing? What would have been a classic, a true classic from us?
Okay.
What would have been a great cigar 50 years ago? What would have been the same cigar great today and then in 50 years? And that was the answer to it. So you have a very traditional but new take on it profile. It's very Habano forward, has
Yeah.
a bit of richness, but not too much. It's just everything is in balance. It's actually the line from what we do that I personally consume the most of. It's a cigar that I absolutely adore. And again, it's something it's hard to say because there is two things. There is a good cigar and a bad cigar. A bad cigar will be not enough fermentation, not enough rest, the tobaccos are not to the standards, the rolling is bad. I mean, there is a few things like this that will guarantee it to be a bad cigar. A good cigar can be of your taste or of your liking or not. And that's the thing. And that's where a lot of people go or get confused about. They're like, oh, I don't like it. It's a bad cigar. No, you don't like it. If it's been done properly, then it's a good cigar. It's just not to your liking. But I can tell you that for me specifically, that specific blend is something that really carries for me, and that has been ever since we released it. It's something that I've been constantly smoking. It's definitely the one that is the hardest in my rotation. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We don't have any results and scores because it's still early in the game, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this one does and how they
It
all
will
perform.
it will be very interesting for that exactly, right? Because you take away the brand factor, you really focus exclusively on the cigar. It will be interesting if or to what extent what I'm living through it translates for other people. So I'm looking forward to it.
Excited to see it too, man. Awesome.